so desperately needed and had waited so long for would go to a different recipient. Jeff immediately agreed to fly Mike to Boston without payment, and after hanging up with Tate, he called Doug Lindley, waking him from a sound sleep to ask if Doug would serve as his co-pilot on the late-night flight. A nor'easter was blowing in and conditions would be challenging, but Doug immediately said, "I'm in." And the three men met at Nantucket's Memorial Airport around 11 p.m. Jeff and Doug had Mike to Logan by 11:30, and Jeff called an Uber to take Mike to MGH. He made it there well before the cutoff time, thanks to Jeff and Doug's heroic efforts. And we're so happy that Mike is here with us this evening. We're very sad that his wife Jordana couldn't join us, but she wrote a lovely letter that I would like to read to you now. Sorry, I have a chihuahua pulling at me. Anyway, hello everyone. I am so sorry that I could not be here to honor these men who my family owes every day since March 24th, 2018. However, I wanted to let them know how very thankful we are for them. It was 8:51 p.m. on March 24th. We got the call that could save Mike's life. Michael is a type 1 diabetic who has had 3 strokes and 2 heart attacks. The last stroke decimated his kidneys, and he had been on dialysis for almost 3 years. His body was giving out. It had endured enough. The doctors were hoping for a match for both the kidney and pancreas, but time was running out. Then, at 8:51 p.m. on March 24th, we got the call. It was a miracle for us that hinged on the most unthinkable tragedy for another family. That being said, we are most grateful to the donor's family that made the ultimate sacrifice and gave the gift of life to Michael. After being on and off the list for over 2 years, we were told there was a complete match, and they were very hopeful for Michael, but he had to be able to get to MGH by 2 a.m. They also told us a complete match like this is extremely rare and might not happen again, so he had to get there. This was his miracle. We just needed to get him to Boston to receive it. Not a problem unless you are 30 miles out to sea after 9 p.m. in March. We had a plan in case this happened, but like a perfect storm, the man who was set up to help us in the event of an emergency was stuck off island. So I called the emergency room and spoke to Caroline and Jessica Douglas, told them the situation. They called MedFlight and had to call me back and tell me that MedFlight would not come because of the weather. 2 storms were approaching. These amazing women then began calling everyone they knew with a plane or a way to get off island, while we scrambled and tried to wrap our heads around what was happening. I then called my brother Tate Keegan, my rock through it all, who snapped into action and immediately called his friend Jeff Turner to try and set up a charter. Jeff told Tate he could not charter the plane, but was willing to help if he could get a co-pilot. He called Doug, and without hesitation, Doug said yes. They did not want anything in return but to be kept up to date on Mike's progress and health. They returned back to Nantucket that night, and it was a very turbulent flight as the storms closed in and they encountered terrible weather. I was most grateful when I got a text from Carrie, who said that they had gotten home close to 2 a.m. and were safe and sound. We are also most grateful to their families for letting them do this, as they bravely flew into the face of the storm without a care for themselves. You may never know how your compassion and bravery has impacted others. We as a family feel we have been given the greatest gift through your brave generosity. Lastly, I wish I was there to hug these 2 men with my whole heart. They are true heroes, and I'm so thankful to everyone who was part of our miracle. Thank you to Tate for making the call, to Jessica for nominating them, and for Egan LifeSaving Museum. Well, it's Egan Maritime and the Nantucket Shipwreck at LifeSaving Museum, but she doesn't work for us in that